This whole project is piggybacked around a certain group. They have been establishing a forum where the community can engage and look for solutions which are driven by their own agenda. What we find interesting in this project is that it allows the community to question what public space means to them. And we're almost starting, if you'd call it, from a ground zero perspective.
When people think public space, they often think traditional public spaces like parks and squares. But actually, probably the most important public spaces in many cities across the world is the street. And here in Dandora, there are no other public spaces, but you can see that there's so many people out on the street here.
Public space is not seen as something for citizens to be enjoyed. It's seen as something to be exploited as a resource by those who control the spaces in Nairobi or spaces in urban areas as a way to generate immediate revenues for them in a way that excludes the people who use these public spaces.
We began to analyze the ideas that were generated by the community, and specifically two boys. They established an interesting idea of like a pergola above the gateway and floating over the roads, which we translated as a zebra crossing, which in the city today, at least within Nairobi, is almost meaningless. It's just markings on the road.
What's interesting with the history of the zebra crossing is that in 1948, a minister of British Parliament went to the TRL, which is the Transport Research Laboratory. The only reason it got its name is that Mr. James Cullenham, I believe, actually looked at that piece of stripes. So they had obviously created markings on a piece of road within the lab. And he said, oh, that looks like a zebra. And from that time, the zebra crossing was born. We looked to try to reconstruct what it means by literally building it. And it's a structure that not necessarily has to be replicated throughout. But what's unique within the context of the site is that it allows for a broader master plan, if you'd call it, where trees can be grown and allows spaces where people can sit adjacent to the road.
Kuna dam site Dandora sasa inajulikana ulimwengu mzima, na ilikuwa ni mahali panaitwa quarry. Walikuwa wanatoanga mawe za kujenga nyumba huko. So walichimba mpaka ikawa very deep. So nafikiri waliamua kuiziba, sababu mvua ikinyesha ilikuwa inajaza maji hapo sana, inakuwa kama lake. Yule ambaye alipeana hii alitoa mawaida ya kuziba quarry, hakufuata tena, na hiyo ndio ilifanya Dandora ikakuja kwa sababu amepeana kazi lakini hakufuata mfanyikazi anafanya nini.
This project in a way marks a site that is evidence of humanity's impact in a really disturbing way on the environment. We are looking to highlight a bigger problem, a bigger agenda within the context of Nairobi, and the dump site really is quite a big and significant element within this project. And the fact that you have a community trying to reshape, readjust, and re-represent the community and the location in a new light, I think it's very fascinating. We were very keen to emphasize that it's not just a gateway, it's a moment in time where the community has sort of made a stand to transform its overall context. And there are enormous plans within DTL to not only change the immediate streetscape, but the dump site. This floating zebra has the opportunity to really highlight this bigger agenda.
It has that opportunity to be quite a significant informer of how we should approach the improvement of public space within African cities.